Okay, thank you very much, everyone, again. Thank you very much again for your participation and coming. Thank you very much again. Taki Delis, welcome, everyone. Again, thanks for coming. Today, again, I think we're going to begin teachings on the great Mahasiddha and a great Terton, Dudjom Lingpa. We're going to begin according my capabilities. We explore. And again, of course, you can also read. There's already, I understood, that already translated this book. Very well-known scholar, Alan Wallace, translated all that, so you can explore more from those books. But however, I will go with my capabilities according what I can tell and what I can offer to you as to reminding, in some degree, to kind of reconnecting to the teaching, to the lineage, to the practice, or some degree, maybe some small degree clarifications, what I'm going to talk that. Hopefully, that's my intention and that's my praise. And again, to begin this, is, of course, is the teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni, the gracious, kindness, compassionate teacher of the Buddha Shakyamuni teaching. So therefore, this teaching is so precious, so special, really so marvelous, every way. Therefore, this is not just so accidental. We are connected to this. Truly, we are connected to this teaching. In past time, today, in a way, we are activating, deepening of this knowledge. For that reason, feel great joy. This again, this is not just joy, but motivation is so important. If we like to receive the teaching, observe that teaching to the heart, and like to get benefit, as teaching mentioned, teaching said, all the great masters said, one after another, if we like to get, we have to correct the motivation. What that means? Because we can't keep a regular mundane conception of the dualities, emotions, self-important, connect to the ego clingings. That won't work very well. Even we are receiving the nectar of the teaching or practice and nectar of teaching, it will go out. It will out. That means nectar when you pour, if the container is not prepared nicely, it will fall out or go out is wasted. Therefore, to do that is all in our hand. It's not somebody have to do this for us. We have to activate it, prepare ourselves. This is not something also we have to make big effort to externally do this and that thing. But in the teaching, it said motivation, intention. Everything is dependent on intentions. Intention. Mind is powerful. Mind is instrumental. Mind is director. Mind leads everything. Lead to the samsara, lead to the nirvana or the enlightenment. It's nobody else's mind we're talking. Our own mind. Your mind, my mind. So therefore, thinking to benefit ourselves, to myself, or others, to benefit to others too, also, some degree, we have to make strong ourselves, right correction, motivation. This motivation is also nothing strange. It's not something Buddhist dogma or strange things I have to do now. Of course, Buddhism is just the goodness of our quality. Whether we are believer, whether we don't believer, we always talk the goodness, good. Good is not coming outside, or there is nothing kind of created good things, or we have to grab. It's all in this mind. So correct the motivation. Which motivation is, as I said, is simple. Joy in appreciation. Joy in appreciation. Joy in appreciation to the Buddha, to the Dharma, to the Sangha, and joy in appreciation to the teaching that we are receiving. We're going to practice. Teaching is also not something, I have to burden, because I'm practicing Dharma, I have to be joy and appreciate something to the Dharma. Actually, think of Dharma. What is really Dharma? Dharma is no other than our goodness, your love, your kindness, your compassion, make ourselves more meaningful, more happy, more peaceful, more kind of like richness of our life. That is Dharma. Buddha did not give something that strange things you have to do in order to make yourself. That's what Buddha himself, the gracious teacher, Buddha himself said, I show you the path. I show the path, technique. It's all to you. You, how you put. This is what the motivation is really so important. And I mentioned that quite a few times, and you also know. Every teacher explained that. Every master, when you go to receive the teaching, those great masters, they always said, so motivation is mind. And among the motivation, so many motivation. The motivation mind has so many mind, thoughts, conceptions arise endless. But among there is something meaningful, something special that benefit to me, to the other beings, or something make happy ourselves, peaceful ourselves. Not always kind of tired and anxiety and skeptical and doubt, hesitation and fears, F-E-A-R, fears and always, no, doubt and all that. Those are the mundane world, duality. We had that so many times. We are saturated with that, according to Buddhism, from the beginner's time until now. Now, what we call here, sometimes in American expression, enough is enough, I think. If we have the really mind in heart and brain, we have to reset the mind. So joy and appreciation is simple. Appreciation. We have a lot of reason to be happy and joy. Glorify that. Not always kind of missing, not want, not enough, this and that. That is ego. Really ego, self-important. That is egomaniacs. That's what really that. We should bring more joy and more appreciation. Celebrate of our life, the richness we have. That is called practitioners. We're not out of the practitioners. We are the central, the very foundation of the Dharma. Joy and appreciation. Joy and appreciation of our life, our situation and the circumstances. Joy and appreciation of the teachings. And according to Buddha teaching, we have 18 endowments that you know. We all have. It's not just a methodology, stories. Truly we have. Everything counted one after another. 18 things we have. Really. Plus we have more. So joy and appreciation is the first motivation. Second motivation is then bodhicitta. We all the practitioners of the Mahayana. Generally Buddha teaching is non-violence, violence, peace and harmony to all the beings. But specifically in the Mahayana highlight the bodhicitta, loving kindness, compassion, thought. Again, this is not just something that we have to do bodhicitta to help or to please someone. Bodhicitta is our mind. If we have really bodhicitta, we will be happy. We will be rich. Heart is rich, really rich. We become billionaire of the billionaires, not multi-billionaires. Really we have the heart rich, love and compassion. Come, we take that rich, not just leave behind. We take that rich, we go with, according to Buddha teachings and teaching of Guru Padma Sambhava. We will be rich in this life, we will be rich in the pardo, we will be rich in the future lives. So the bodhicitta, again, is bodhicitta is something kind of different things. No, what is bodhicitta? Loving kindness, compassion, the wisdom combined together to all the living beings to really wish good things. That is bodhicitta. And that is important. That is the foundation. Even we practice the Dzongchen, if we don't have these motivations, it really won't work. It won't work. We've been practicing so long, nothing happened. But we say that too. Myself I think too that. Not, because why? Because we're lacking those fundamental qualities. Really lacking. Therefore, if we activate those, this joy and appreciation, bodhicitta, teachings will make so perfect meaning and bring up the result, and we really will become as like follower of the group Sambhava, Buddha Shakyamuni, all those great masters. Truly, we lined up with that. We have to follow with the path, no return path. That is what we really will do. That means no return to the samsara, or no return to the three lower realms. The hell realms, hungry ghost realms, and the animal realms. We will non-return, one path, straight up. We are on highway of the enlightenment, peace and harmony, and joy, and humble, and simple, yet rich, and very uplifting, very encouragement. Really we will be. So that is Bodhicitta. That is for the Mahayana practitioner, not just only Sutra Mahayana and Vajrayana Mahayana too. Bodhicitta is the foundation. With this, and then above that Vajrayana teaching often talks, everything is enlightened state. Even though we don't see as everything as enlightened, but reality everything is enlightened and the Buddha status. All the forms are enlightened, all the sound systems are enlightened, and all the mind and space are enlightened. Everything enlightened status. So, since we are practicing of Vajrayana, since we are the practice of Vajrayana is what? You immediately connected to the result, the final goal. Therefore, it is called result yana. Sutra yana is kind of, in the teaching said, causal yana. It takes a long time to get the result. You're working for the cause and the conditions. But Vajrayana teaching is immediately to jumping to the goal of the enlightenment. That means Buddhahood, jumping. So therefore, activating those qualities, those realizations, not just waiting. Again, is power of the mind. When we motivate that, it will come according to the teaching. So therefore, we should activate those qualities as much as we can and see all enlightenment. In the Dzongchen teachings, everything is all is in three kaya states. And Dharmakaya, Sambhokaya, and Nirmakaya status. That means all subjects are in a Dharmakaya, or that three kaya status, and objects are in a three kaya status. There is no partitions between that. It's all in that status, in the teaching state. So activate all those beautiful motivations and beautiful thoughts. Now we go with these teachings. Again, this teaching with those beautiful motivation, and now we go to the teaching. But in order to go teaching, again I talk kind of like a little bit about how the teachings came. And of course, generally, again, is as I said already, is the teaching of the Buddha Shakyamuni, gracious Buddha Shakyamuni, who came 2000 about 600 years ago. He gave varieties of the teachings. What that means, variety teachings means to it everyone is not excluded, because everyone inherited the Buddha nature, the potential of enlightenment. Therefore, Buddha showed the technique and the path to discovering that potentials according to their readiness, and finally to discover full blossoming or bloom of the Buddhahood. That's what taught. And for those reasons, in the teaching, say in the Nyingma schools of Tibetan Buddhism, talks about the 9 yana teachings, 9 different levels of teachings. And not just even that, even before that, what Buddha gave the teachings on the human beings and God's realms. Teachings. That means what? That means because the Buddha gave the teaching that can connect it to have to discover the higher potentials of their qualities to take the rebirth in the human realms and as well as God realms. Those are the teachings said in a Sanskrit word. I'm not really good at Sanskrit, but if I use that word, Manushya Yana and Deva Yanas. Manushya is human beings and Deva is God's Yana. So that means, what are those Yanas? Those are basic goodness. Those goodness. For example, 10 virtues. 3 by the, I'm not going to list, you all know that, 3 by the body, 4 by the speech, and 3 by the mind, all together known as 10 virtues. 10 virtues. Opposite of that is 10 non-virtues. That you know. 10 virtues is not just a kind of exception to the Buddhism. According to Buddhism, that is human. Every human, decent human, really believes, follow with that. That's the Buddha taught. That is the foundation of actually all the teachings. Buddha teaching is based on the good conduct, the good nature of the way things are in the world, and then improved, or expanded, developed. So 10 virtues. That. And then together with that, such as, and so with that, for example, those are paramatas. Also people do those. Even non-Buddhist has paramatas. Not transcendental paramatas, but paramatas. Those are known as also. What are those paramatas? Of course, many of you already know. But generosity, moralities, patience, and joyful effort, concentration, wisdoms. They have. Everyone believes those. Everyone do those. Everyone do generosities. Everyone do good conduct. Everyone talking, even the political talking conducts. This all that becomes so popular. Conduct is moralities. And then patience. Patience is also tolerance, patience. Those are. And then the effort. Effort is important. That is also mentioned. And then the concentration. Let me mindfulness. Now talking more mindfulness, all this. That is. And then wisdom, knowledge, understanding those. That's why the terminology exists at every country does. Because they have that. It's human value. But Buddha teaching is more expanded, more stronger, more deeper. But when we have those good qualities of human beings, what in the teaching said, everything has a result, cause and result. It will bring higher rebirth in the next life. Even in this life, we will have good life, peaceful, more content, more kind of soothing lifetimes. And that result will have good rebirth in the next life. Not 3 lower realms, but higher rebirth, such as human realms and God's realms. Those are really teachings. Those are known as regular birth. Above that, then the teaching, what in teaching, extraordinary teachings, then such as Buddhism. Above that, then the paramata practices, with based upon the transcendental paramata practices. And then without those are, what means? No ego clingings or no attachments. And widely performing that. Without the discrimination, all those Buddha's instructions in the teaching mentioned, then it becomes high. And that goes higher and higher and deeper, and those are known as then Charvakayanas, Paticbodhayanas. And as well as Bodhisattvayanas, goes higher, and deeper. And also the realization of those different levels, such as in a human yana or the world, the good yanas, it didn't really talk about any emptiness, anything, nothing. But then in the arhatayanas, egolessness. Those are the spiritual Buddhist teachings, egolessness. And Paticbodhayana teaching, mentioning, always teaching, said the egolessness state of the is subject and the object, hub of the objects. I'm sorry, I think I mixed it up again. And in Paticbodhayana Buddha, you have the realization of the emptiness of the object, and subject is hub of that. So they always said emptiness, realization of the one and hubs. And in the Mahayana teaching, then all the emptiness status. That's what means. It's not just the emptiness, a completely blank status. And everything is as a taught teaching as two truths. True truth, relative truth is as just displays, illusion displays of the absolute truth. Or relative truth is the magic, dream, and reflection moon in the waters. And as well as like dream. Those are these relative truth existing, but our self, the regular duality or our self being clinging, grasping so strongly that, but reality it is really like illusions. Not just the object is illusion, but also mind is illusions. Subject and object are all illusion status in the relative levels. All are connected. Also, so many factors. Those are known as interdependent coordinations or interconnecteds. Or I think the better word. That all arising. And each of those, then absolute level is in an empty. Empty is beyond existence. Or empty, there's nothing to hold. But yet, it is appearing. Therefore, it's called magic display, dreamlike displays. That is like Mahayana teachings. Brilliant, of course, you all know. I'm just saying those things as when they're reminding us to all about that. In the Vajrayana teaching, then that extended, not just only that, empty, but now in the teaching explaining the kind of enlightened status. Enlightened status. On the, not just say empty, but all this display, relative truth are enlightened status. They are like mandalas. Those are in the teaching set. And then when you go to the inner tantras, then they clearly explaining sound, poem is enlightened. Sound is enlightened. And the mind and the space are enlightened. Absolute. And then in the Dzogchen teaching, said all is a display of the origin and nature. Very clearly, strongly. Origin and nature of our mind. Each of our mind is created our perception, our conceptions. Is reflecting back. So that means 5 aggregates. All is creation of each of our mind, or origin and nature of the mind. It created. And that is creation. Mind is enlightened, therefore it is creation is enlightened status. Those clearly explain. So among these teachers, that's what the great teacher Buddha taught. On high levels, in the teaching say the teachings are taught as a staircase. All that staircase, there's 9 staircases or 9 steps. But the first step, the second step is dependent to the first step. Third step is dependent on the first and the second step. So it's dependent, and therefore, in the teaching said what in the Dzogchen teaching, even that's getting Gurubema Samba said in the teaching, said to King Trisong Devti and student, even you have the highest realization as like sky, or the vastness realization as a sky, yet you will observe so thoroughly and carefully all the conduct levels. Therefore, so we shouldn't, great practitioners should not ignore the conduct. Then we are disturbing our realizations and making completely kind of like contradictions. And that really will make, then delay our realization. So therefore, everything is in enlightened state, but yet follow exactly the same as the way things are, externally, internally, and for that reason, Great Master also Nagarjuna said, if you have the good conduct of the human beings, then heaven is not far. If you are in heaven, the enlightenment or the nirvana is not far. So it's all connected, all dependent. If we have not good conduct, then we are falling back to the samsara. Even you have some the intellectual understanding of the teachings and practices, that won't really support this. So that's how all is lined up this. And now we go with this, and this Dudjom Lingpa's teaching, or this teaching where what we're talking is Dzongchen teachings. And the Dzongchen is again, who taught this Dzongchen teaching? Again, according to Buddhism, the Buddha Shakyamuni taught these teachings. Not in the regular form Buddha appeared in India, like as with begging bowl and or the alms bowl with that customs. Buddha, those who are highly capable at readiness, Buddha appeared in the Dharmakaya status. Buddha summoned the Bhadras, or Buddha Vajra or the Vajra Sattva status, and then transmitted this teaching through the retinues of the ocean-like retinue of the wisdoms. Ocean-like wisdom, retinue of the wisdoms, such as 5 Dhyana Buddhas, and as well as all Buddhas. How he taught, or how Buddha taught, not by word, but not by the symbolics, by the wisdom state of the mind. My wisdom of mind was state is the mind transmitted without the word and the symbol, everything. About the Jimmy Dongyal, unborn quality, unborn qualities, Buddha transmitted, transmitted that teaching. Those are known as mind-to-mind transmissions. Mind to the mind transmissions. Then also Buddha gave these teachings to the Sambhola levels. Again, such a 5 Dhyana Buddhas. The Sambhola is also not just a kind of really big science and Sambhola things, but with the magically through the again some indications and signs and transmitted the teachings to the 5 Dhyana Buddhas, and such as then Vajrapanis, Manjushiris, and our Lokiteshoras, all those things. And that's how they transmitted. So that is known, those are known as the mind-to-mind transmission lineage, symbolic transmission lineage. Those are the very special terminologies, or special, not terminologies, special systems that explained in the Nyingma teachings, and those are in the Gohengarba Tantra, or one of the Mahayoga Tantra known as Rgyud Jamso. In there, said how they transmitted by the mind, by the symbol, and by the air, transmitted those teachings to that. And then this order transmission lineage is then, for example, when that came, and it Kyola teaching said this Dzogchen teaching came 28 years after Buddha Shakyamuni's Mahaparinirvana, and then it started descending the Dzogchen teachings. Particularly, who discovered is the Garab Dorje, or Garab Dorje, one who discovered or brought these Dzogchen teachings to these worlds. So then it's a continuity in that. Continuity. And now the Dzogchen teaching itself divided into 3 categories. And those are, of course, you all know. But I'm talking this as, again, to gratitude of all these lineage teachings. So therefore, again, this teaching came from the Garab Dorje. And Garab Dorje, according to teaching, discovered there are bought over 1,600,000 Dzogchen teachings that he bought. And then Garab Dorje's foremost student is the Manjushri Mitra, and so he received all the teachings, and Manjushri Mitra divided that Dzogchen teaching into 3. Of course, you all heard this so many times and know that from me and as well as other great masters, I'm sure. And those are known as then and the mind sections of Dzogchen teaching, and the space and the pit instructions. Those are three divided. And Menjikiri Metta's foremost student is Shiri Sangha. And Shiri Sangha again received all the teachings, and he again subgrouped this teaching in 4 different ways, particularly of this pith instruction of the teachings. Those are known as outer, inner, and secret, and very secret. So 4 different. And this time, what we are practicing in this Dzogchen teaching of the Dudjom Lingpa's teaching and all the most of the Dzogchen teaching is really the pith instruction. Among that, not just the pith instruction, the outer, inner, secret, most essence. The most essence section of the teaching, that's what we really mostly we are following, that teachings. This teaching is then divided into 2 groups. Those are known as Trikyu practices and Toggle practices. You all know. We all heard that. Trikyu and Toggle practices. This teaching is then where it is. Those are known as, and there is 17 Dzogchen Tantras that explaining of these, the very secret sections of these teachings. Dzogchen Gyü teachings. And there is a second one, or third, another one, that the 18th one is known as the Tantra of the Ekajati teaching, and that. And the next one is known as the Lungsam Burma, great blazing space section of the Tantras. So those are total, the very powerful essence of the teaching of the 19 Tantras, of this essence of the Dzogchen teachings. These teachings are then translated into Tibet in the time of the Trisong Debsins. And who, in time of Ngurap Masamba, great master Shantarakita, who actually then taught these teachings. According to Dzogchen's history, the 3 great masters taught first time this the inner tantra, the essence of the essence teaching to the Tibetan practitioners, by 3 masters. Those are known as, first is Vairochana, the great translator, and the second is Ngurap Masambhava, and third is the Vimal Matras. When they give teaching, for these Dzogchen teachings, particularly among that teaching, the first 2, the mind and the space section, is particularly really taught by the Vairochanas. And then second one, and not second one, sorry, the first and the second are taught by the Vairochana, and pith instruction sections teachings and taught by the Ngurap Masambhava and Vimal Matras. And those are, in the first time, Mama Mantara give the teachings, not again with big groups, small groups. Trasong Depti and the Nyami Tengze Zamko or Pui students, he gave the teachings. And then, Ngurap Masambhava gave this teaching to Yishim Soja and Trasong Depti and his few sons. And particularly, he entrusted one of the youngest daughter of the Trasong Depti, passed away when he was 8 years old, but he brought back consciousness and he trusted entirely the essence of sections of the Dzogchen teachings to her. So he received that. And mostly is hidden as termas teachings. So that's how Dzogchen teaching transmitted. And then it came. And then particularly later, great master Lungchimpa, who was emanation or the reincarnation of the youngest daughter of the Khenpo Tsewang, who received the completely entire teaching of the Dzogchen, the essence of essence which is known as heart draw of the darkness. Kanro Nyingte to the youngest daughter, and Lungchimpa discovered or received that in teachings. And then Lungchimpa is really known as second Garab Dorje, or the of Tibet, or Garab Dorje of Tibet. He clarified, he condensed both everything perfectly in this the sections of the pit instruction sections of the Dzogchen teachings to the students. Those are known as 4 great Dzogchen teachings, or essence of Dzogchen teachings on Kwanro Nyingte. So those are, the first one is Kwanro Nyingte, which is the essence, heart essence teaching of the Gorape Masambhava. Second is known as the Mama Nyingte, heart essence of Mama Matara, which is again Dzogchen teaching. And then he made the commentary, which is known as second Lama Yante and Kwanro Yante. It's true. And the essence of that, condensed that one, is known as the Samo Yangte. Those teachings are Lungchimpa taught. And what those teachings explaining is Trekyu and Toga practices. Trekyu is cutting thoroughly technique, of course, and a Togar is leaping over practices. So these two are the pit or the essence of the pit instruction sections. Now, this Dudjom Lingpa's teaching is Dzogchen teachings of the both Trekyu and Togal teaching practices. This contains both of these teachings. And now what I thought to do myself, and I'm going to go over these teachings of the specifically of the Trekyu sections of these teachings. Togal section teachings is the seventh chapter or the seventh section of the Sherik Dorje Nӧnpo of sharp Vajra awareness, and maybe I won't go over that, because there's so many teachings of Toga teachings already, and I just feel that I don't have really capability to do this Toga teachings on the internet and the Zooms. Even though I don't feel comfortable in the capability to give Toga teachings there, but so many great masters are teaching, and I'm just also kind of following with and honored lineage and honor to all the great masters of this order of those teachings. So I hope that I'm not making too much trespassing and going over really something totally out of range. So I will try to do my best on this Trekyu part of the Dzogchen teachings, but Toga part of the teaching, Dzogchen teaching, as I said, I'm not going to talk over that. And as I said, I don't think so I have capability to do this on the internet or the Zooms, so that you all know that. I'm just going to tell that. Now, Toga practice of this, Trekyu practice is what in the teaching said. That I'm talking, of course, this teaching will explain more, we go through one after another. But the essence of the Trekyu practices is known as view, meditation, conduct, and then achieve the result. That is, just I will highlight that now. That's good for all of us. And of course, you all know this. It's not something I'm talking new things. But since we are Dzogchen retreat and Dzogchen practice of this, so it will maybe let me reminding you, so to continue practice of this week and then continue after the weeks. Fourth is to recognize the view. Recognize the view is so important. It's a foundation. And what in the teaching said, ye tawa ngom to in the Tibet. Recognizing or identifying the view, which is a foundation. What means foundation? View is the foundation of our meditation. View is the foundation of our conduct. And view is dependent upon, or is dependent of our achievement result. So that means result and conduct and meditation all dependent upon view. A view is the mixed. Then it will mix the meditation. It will mixed up the meditation. It will mix up the conduct. It will mix up the result. Therefore, view is so important. Therefore, it's called the foundation. In Tibet, Yettawa Ngomtru. Recognize the view, or identifying the view of the which is foundation. Once you have the view found, then we have meditated. Meditation is nothing but maintaining the view. Conduct is nothing but improving the meditation. And then, if we are not mixed our view, if we are not mixed our meditation, if we are not mixed our conduct, then we don't have to worry not going to achieve the result. Result comes naturally and freely, openly comes. So therefore, view is so important. Number one. And now view, what that view? In the teaching, generally they say the analytic view, establish or discover the view with analytics, and discover the view through the simple technique of the Pith instructions. And this time, more the time, we really follow him. Establish or discover the view with the simple lineage instructions. That's what we're trying to do, that most of the time. Analytic means studying all the Buddha teachings, and particularly Dzogchen teaching, or particularly those philosophical teachings, Madhyamaka teachings, Panjaparamata teachings. Those are explained the view clearly, very strongly, logically, with the reasons, with analytically explaining. Once you started those analytically and started, then you put that contemplations. Contemplate means you put in analyzing. Your own intelligence, or our own intelligence in mind is really kind of like dividing and discovering and discriminating and finding out exactly where the teaching said, and is proving that. So that is the analytic ways. And to do that, and we don't have exactly times, and those we like to be easy approach, easy, quick methods. So quick method is then the Pith instructions. Pith instruction. Those are what in the teaching said. Three accurate is, or that in the Tibet, the termas. Lam menga tsema, and the Dhamma tsema, Renga Rupa tsema. Those are tsema in the Tibetan word, which means that the accurate or the true, maybe tsema is, I think, maybe accurate. I'm just going to translate it. If I found nice kind of better word, I will let you know that in this week. This week. Accurate. Or maybe I'll translate this way. Qualified lineage masters, qualified instructions, and then, and not qualified this time, then accurate realizations. Maybe these three. So qualified lineage instruction, that means, again, lineage instruction is so important. Lineage, because lineage it means that those great practitioners kept the teaching exactly as it is, without spoiled by the intellectual, skeptical, and the kind of their own analytical, change the word, this and that thing, and not mix it. In fact, the authentic teaching as is uttered or taught by the Saman Vajra, Vajra Sattva, or Buddha Shakyamuni, and Garab Dorje, and Guru Padma Samye and Lungchimpa, that all came exactly that same thing, without changing, without structuring, without alternating that. That is known as the qualified masters who keep, or practitioners, not master just not means one single person. Master may be all trying to master of the realization, master of our knowledges of that. So really kept that with the honor, with the joy, with the appreciations, not mixing our this, I want to do, oh, it feels this, I like this. This, our feelings, our thought is not reliable. It changes. It's not just I'm talking that, how many thoughts and ideas changed in our lives? In the sense beginning, we have the memories, until now, how many times changed? Really, so many times changed. Every day is changing. It's not accurate, there's nothing to rely. If we rely on that in some kind of reasons of the worldly concern, or worldly some benefit, then we're spoiling. We're spoiling the nectar. Nectar, that is not correct. That is not. So therefore, authentic teachings or lineage, qualified teachings. And then that qualified lineage teach instructions are also authentic instructions that we received. Authentic instructions received. As we received, then one's own intelligence, one's own mind put that and got meaning on that. That is called Renka Rupatsema. Renka Rupatsema. Our own knowledge really proved. That is the simple technique that discovered the view with Tamil. How they do that? That is then in this teaching explaining. On the teaching explaining, and we all received so many times this is okay teaching. We are not going to go the outskirt of to establish from the outskirt gradually coming to the center. We are going to go the center of the bull's eye. That means what? Center of the bull's eye of the universe, of the world, is our own mind. Our own mind is the center. What that means? Everything what we see around, that is the outer. The mind is the central. Your mind, each of our mind is the central. Central, it is essential. So discover the view from the mind. How that discover that? Those are then the teaching mentioned. Where is mind? Simple as it. Where is the mind? Those are said, where mind is coming? Where is mind? Where is mind going or went? Every we look this past, the present, the future, all three times are no answer. We become the answerless, speechless. That is view. Believe it or not. View is not something that we have to hold tangible things. If we hold something tangible, we don't find the view. That's if we didn't find anything, we reach the speechless status, like center of a sky. Then we found. For that reason, great teacher Buddha said in the teaching, when you don't see anything, that is supreme seeing. When talking in the view, you see the supreme. You really see the supreme when you don't see. That means subject and object are merged. There's nothing. So discover the view from with the instructions of the lineage teachings. And then now we also prove that. That means our intelligence. We're not talking that it's methodologically or somewhere else, that our own intelligence proves there's nothing we can say about the mind. We did not find. It's not something we did not find because we like to not find. Buddha said. Or because we did not find, because I like to be polite. That's not at all. Really, we don't find. It's true. That is you proving. That means each of us proving. That's it. That is not just we prove. That's what Buddha said. That's what Padma Samye Ling said. That was all those lineage masters, Lungchimpa, or the Nagarjuna, 6 ornament of the Jambu Deeps, word, really said all those teachings. And all the 25 disciples of Padma Samye Ling said. And all the great masters of all the schools of Tibetan Buddhism, they're so scholars, so intellectuals, they're thinkers, they're not just the believers. Really. They have, in modern time, we can say they're all like the best physicists. The physicists that's the discovery of the inner spaces, not just the externals, external and everything. They proved one after another. They sealed one after another. It's true. There's nothing to find. That is realities. When we discover that qualities, then that's what they call samsara, nirvana. Is a joke, big jokes. There's nothing really can't be like anything. It's like we can hold. But yet everything is functioning. Nothing is changed on the relative levels. That's the beauty, the magical displays. Fulfill all that. So that is, when we recognize that, then we keep up that. Those are in this teaching explaining. Keep up all the teachings. Said we keep up that teaching with all the relative levels and as an absolute level. This is the absolute level we're talking, just now not finding all that. But relative level, everything. For that reason, great master Tiloba said to Naropa, even you got the highest realizations, or realizations, and even the no, I think this is maybe not Naropa. This of course Naropa said that, but as Great Master Sara said that even you got the highest realizations of the unborn, but never ignore the meritorious activities. Or that means 6 paramata practices. That even you got highest realizations, not ignoring. For that reason, for example, gracious teacher Buddha Shakyamuni, who has highest realization in the Buddhism. There's nothing higher than him. But how much he is humble, simple, following in the giving teaching and explaining to the, guiding to the other students with good conduct, the good meditation, and the Buddha himself is doing the same thing. In the teaching said that Buddha went to the city and with the monk and they got the alms or the food and they returned back to the hermitage and cleaned the feet. That means the bare feet. Buddha is walking on the ground with all the students. And come back the hermitage, wash the feet, and then he meditated. He's meditated. Even though Buddha reached already enlightened state, but to show to us how important to maintain the meritorious activities and respect the relative levels. Those are really teachings. And then all those great masters, we read life stories, one after another, really. Even they got highest realization. That is what. So now we again go back to this. So first recognizing or identifying of the view. That is. So that I'm just you all know this, but this is again to do this to even you got the realization, even you didn't completely settle on that view, but support of the meritorious activities such as devotion, bodhicitta, all those so important. Really, devotion to the lineages, devotion to the teaching, devotion to the Dharma, or Buddha, Dharma, Sangha is so important. And this is like that, not just a devotion occasion, but sizzling devotion in heart and mind will bring the sizzling realizations and achievements. That is, so not just a kind of, this devotion is the extra things. No. It's so important that when you have the devotion, that means we are settled on the ground, not wandering. We are not lingering. We are not just unstable, shaky. We settled the spiritual ground. Now we feel so joy and appreciate confidence and feel the richness of this. And then that's the devotion. Really appreciate them. Feel that from the heart. Sit down. And then when you got that, then maintain the view is meditation. As I said earlier, and you know, meditation is not any extra. Maintain the view. Those are any teaching said, myo-sam, unshakable, not shaky body, so that means good postures while you're meditating, particularly in beginning time. Time, not shaky, not wandering of our senses, and then not shaky of our awareness. Relax, calm and peaceful. Those are, we keep maintaining the view, keeping the view. Once you have maintained that view with that way, and then they improve by the conduct. Conduct is not just on the side, that on the distant. Conduct is right with the practitioners. Conduct will boost the realization, boost the achievements. If you don't keep the conduct, it will delay. It will mix up our meditation and our realizations. So therefore, conduct. And the Dzogchen teaching, what is the best conduct? The great Master Padma Rinpoche said in the teaching, again, I'm not just saying, but really said, self-liberating. Self-liberating. That means when any thought and conception comes, liberate it. What that means? Let it go. If we don't let it go, that means we are holding. What we are holding? We are holding the samsara. We are holding samsara, really. We are trying to hold that samsara. What that means, samsara? Because what we have thought, what comes in thought is a duality mind. Dualities. Dualities are connected with the negative emotions. Ignorance, attachment, anger, or baby beats of those all different things. That is duality. Attachment or whatever. If we hold that, we are maintaining the samsara. We like to liberate the samsara. Liberate to what? In the Dzogchen teaching, it said to Dharma Kaya, or the three Kaya status. So liberate it. Who is going to liberate it? Nobody else is going to liberate. What in the teaching said? Self-liberating. Means that you or your mind will let it go. Where it come from? All those thoughts and feelings? From mind. And who hold? By mind. And when you let it go by mind, that's called self-liberating. And then, in order to do that, what in the teaching said? Mindfulness. Without too much effort, without too much forceful, relax the atmosphere with mindfulness. Or sometimes the Dzogchen teaching already mentioned original natural mind, not with the clinging graspings. Keeping that flavor or that light in the meditation and relax, then we are really good practitioners according to the teachings. And we are able to maintain that. And the post-meditation or along that, as I said, bodhicitta, devotion, sizzling devotions, and sizzling bodhicittas. Even during the meditation of Dzogchen bring up sizzling devotions, sizzling bodhicitta for a few seconds or a few minutes. And then let it go, not lingering that again. Even is the devotion, even is bodhicitta, not let it linger on that, but let it go, relaxing. Again, same nature. Nature state of mind. Those are the essence, heart center column of the Dzogchen meditation that you all know, I just remind. Now we go back to this teaching. Then teaching of this again is Dudjom Lingpa. Now many of you already know Dudjom Lingpa. I talk really again, this Dudjom Lingpa. Dudjom Lingpa, he is one of the great masters or the Mahasiddhas, Tertons, and the visionaries, and the Tibetan Buddhist historians or Nyingma Buddhist historians. Really one of them. And also crazy Western masters. He was Ngakpa, lay practitioners, everything. That. And he was born, I think, around 1835. And he entered Mahaparinirvana around 1904. I think. Around 1904, he entered Mahaparinirvana. In the teaching said that, this is his own word. He said, until age 9, I was nurtured by so many Western Rakinis. Nurtured as a mother. So that. But in the teaching, the life story, of course, I'm sure maybe you already read that, and it has so many visions, so many really he has magical displays, marvelous displays that you cannot think that. He performed so many things when he was in a few years old, that, and continued this. And around the age 9 or the age 18, in his own word, he received so many empowerment, transmissions, teachings from many of those enlightened Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. And those are the medicine Buddhas and the Sarahas, Gorapema Sambhavas, and our Lokteshwara, Vajrapani, really those all great masters, great Buddhas, one after another received. Around the age, in the early 20s, maybe I shall say. Early 20s until age 30, mid-30s, then he started discovering so many Terma teachings, one after another. Those Terma teachings are visionary teachings, and the art or from the object Terma teachings, as well as from his Western mind Terma teachings. So he became the master or the ruler of the Terma discoveries. And from that onward, then he will doing so many teachings and transmitting to the students one after another until age 69. So those are really, he mentioned this. I say that. And then he was also one of the, he was the reincarnation, or actually reincarnation of the many great masters in previous lifetimes. He born as so many great lineage masters or masters. And that first one is in the teaching said, the Nyudin Dorje, at the very beginning of this the 1000 Buddha, and that is Nyudin Dorje. He was born as a Nyudin Dorje, Master Nyudin Dorje. He introduced, encouraged 1000 bodhisattvas, and that's what they all developed the bodhicitta and the teaching. From that onward, this 1000 bodhisattvas become the 1000 Buddhas of these fortunate eons that many of you know. And during the Buddha's time, he was born as the great Shariputra. And the Buddha has so many great arhatas, disciples, those who are arhatas. But among all the arhatas, in the Buddha highly praised in the group, the Shariputra has the supreme power of the wisdoms among all his students. So that he was born as Shariputra. And then also Shariputra become the instrumentals of the Panchaparamata teachings. He was kind of like in the Buddha, when he gave the 100,000 Buddha teachings of the Panchaparamata, and Shariputra was like many times his dialogue or the question and answer with the Buddha to explore the profound teaching of the Panchaparamita teachings. And along with that, such as condensed heart Panchaparamita teaching is Heart Sutra. And Heart Sutra is also, Shariputra was instrumental to come have these Heart Sutra teachings along with our Lokiteshwaras that you that. So, and in the time of the Guru Padma Samye 8th century, a time of the great master Shantarakya, the Tasawwuf time, and his own Dudjom Lingpa was born as Chechung Lotsa. And in the teaching said that his sign the realization is through his meditation and through his power of compassion, the birds, the land, so what's called very friendly on his fingertips, and which we have here illustrations. That every time illustrations of the 25 disciples, Chechung Lhasa is the lay practitioners, Ngapa, and disciples of Guru Padma Samye, Bhaman Matra, and Shantarakya, and lay practitioner holding the bird or on his fingertip as his whole fingers. His power of his realization, his powerful loves. When you have a compassion and love, loving kindness to all the sentient beings, then everyone become friend. They not feel kind of friendly. They call the teaching. So that's really is. And then he took so many different emanations, one after another. Or before that, also in India, he was born Honkara, very famous. Yogi and a master of the Yangda Herukas, among the eight Herukas, Yangda Herukas, Honkaras, and as well as Sarahas in the teaching said. And then also after the Chechung Lhasa and before the Dudjom Lingpa, and then he born so many great masters in Tibet, really took many, and some are lay practitioners, some are monks, such as Drongku Chujang Pakwa, as like very famous great master of the Satya, among the 5 great masters, Drongku Chujang Pakwa, and as well as then and the Drongku Tsangpa Jari of the Kagyu, on the Drogpa Kagyu masters, and Tromjem Khanna, Heba Chumjung, and so many. I mean, you can read the praise of the life story of his own Dudjom Rinpoche or the Dudjom Lingpa. You can read all those. And then one of the foremost, again, Terton's reincarnation was Dongyal Dorje, Pope of Dongyal Dorje, very famous, really Terton, Dongyal Dorje. And then Dudjom Lingpa was born. So this is the what Dudjom Lingpa. And then after that, Dudjom Lingpa went into the Mahaparinirvana, and then one was really renowned, very famous one is His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche. But however, I mean, that was he's also predicted by in his visionary teachings, and he said, because Ekachati asked, how many of your lives do you talk past, and how many times you will take in the future? Ekachati asked in the visionary, he answered in the visionary, and he said, I mean, mentioned many of those, one after another, I said those. And in the future, I will be reappeared again in the southern part of the Tibet, and who will transform that area in the virtuous countries. So truly, he was predicted upcoming his own Dudjom Rinpoche, Sherik Dorje, yes. But Dudjom Lingpa also generally, when he entered Mahaparinirvana, he has 5 emanations came around the same time, born, and those are in the teaching mentioned: body emanations, speech emanations, mind emanations, quality emanations, as well as activity emanations. Among that, His Holiness Dudjom Rinpoche on Sherik Dorje was the mind emanation of the Dudjom Lingpa, and which the many of you know, and we see the teachings, and who become one of the really famous great masters, Tertons. That, and then Dudjom Lingpa, as he said earlier, he was a lay practitioner, Ngapa. So he has also many children. Among that, he has 8 sons. 8 sons all become great masters. great Terton, really all of them. Even he said, many people you say, he has the 8 sons as emanation of the 8 bodhisattvas. Among that, the very famous one is third Dudjom. The third Dudjom, who became really one of the famous great masters. So that Dudjom, and then many all others, 8 sons. Among that is then Trokotemi Ozars of Trokotemis and the Dorje Dandars. One of the maybe 8th son is who become also root teacher to the His Holiness Vajra Rinpoche. Vajra Rinpoche, that many of you know, that who stayed this like over 100 years, maybe 104, 108. So that is Dudjom Lingpa's as a son. And then his all teachings are connected as there was over 20 volumes or 22 volumes. Among that, mostly popular, famous one is, not just only that, but the Tuma, black Tuma practices. Tuma Nama practices is really the very famous. It is also wisdom mind termas. Mind termas, Kuntar. And so it's become so popular. Not why so popular? Because it's so powerful, and so many benefit, uplifting. And in the teaching, in predicted, through these Tuma practices, there is 13 individually well-achieved transcendental wisdom rainbow bodies. Those are really great master counts that. And then so many countless practitioners will come. Those are predicted. It's true. Tuma becomes so popular, so powerful practices. Tuma is the black Vajra practice, or the Vajra practices. And so this is also commonly known as Gyud practice. Gyud practice, and in this Gyud practice is very famous lineages, teachings in Tibetan Buddhism. So Gyud practices that. So, and then as well as many Dzongchen teachings, Namjings, that. So that is really talk, and now I'll go one short time, then I'm going to stop here too. But then now, this is, now we go with that today I said this, the Dzongchen kind of essence of the Dzongchen instructions is not just I said, but is really more coming in these teachings. You may already know those things. So, but I thought because it is little kind of big text, or no, not big, but it's a big text. So maybe to reach to those stages, maybe we will take a little time. So I thought maybe those who are kind of a little bit new, or particularly, we like to meditate. This time a little bit more meditated, activated this. So I thought to tell that maybe somebody will help. But that's my conception. Thought maybe help to tell that. So I said those and recognize the view and maintain the meditation with and then liberating technique of the conduct and without the effort of the mindfulness. Those are mentioned that. So, but this is what's coming in this. And now we go just this short one, and the short. Then of course we go talk over this a little bit more as much as we can. So this title is, and translated this here, from the net of the pure awareness and the primordial wisdom, the primordial pure expanse of the Samana Badari, the spontaneously accomplished treasury of the Dzongchen, the Shav Vajra of the awareness Tantra, the quintessence of the great sacred Mantrayana. So those are titles. I think you know, you see that. Those are all titles. First, in Tibet, I'll go with Tibetans here, so as much as I can. But then it will cover this, this meaning. First it is, here said, pure vision. And first one is what, if I translate it, direct kind of broken English, that. From the nets of the illusion of the purity, pure perception of pure. That's my kind of direct translation of these things. So now it said pure perceptions. So this teaching come from as like pure perceptions. What this teaching is, in the category of according to Nyingma. In the Nyingma teaching is divided into two sections, or the way teaching is not just that. With the practice part of the Nyingma teaching is divided in two sections, Karma and Terma. That many of you know. Karma means oral transmission. Oral transmission, that means from the master to the student, from the master to the student, or from the practitioner to the practitioner to the practitioners. Continue carried as a normal, regular channel in the world we do. Teacher taught the student, and that become the teacher and taught to the others, and then continually that. So that is called oral. Again, oral is, as I said, it's not just diluted by the different conceptions, adding throughout generations. As I said, lineage teaching preserved, keep the integrity quality of exactly as it is. And always in the teaching said that teaching is a nectar, teaching is a stainless, teaching is like refined, purified water which has 8 qualities. Kept that continually. Why? Because this teaching is taught with it to clear with the emotions, clear with the obscurations, clear with the negative emotions, the emotions such as ignorance, attachment, anger, jealousy, and hated thoughts, arrogance, skepticals. And that skeptical, that emotion is never changed. From the time of the Buddha and until now. We sentient beings are changed, or our forms are changed, but our emotions stay the same, maybe adding more stronger and stronger. So therefore, the chain of our consciousness of this duality, mind never changed. Our form of the body changed each lifetime, but mind stays. But this emotion talking. So this teaching clarified, purified that time and this time. There's no need to add anything. That if we added more, it's consumption, dualities. Duality add more dualities. And the emotion add more emotions. It won't. So therefore, in the teaching always said, authenticness of the lineage teaching preserve is so important. And they also in the teaching said, the teacher, qualified teachers, one who keep the qualified teacher is one who keeping the lineage teaching exactly as said. For that reason, Great Master Shantideva said, what is the qualification of the Bodhisattva, or qualification of the teacher of the Bodhisattva Yana or Mahayanas? One who keep the vows of the Bodhisattva perfectly, and even the costly lives never give up the vows of the Bodhisattva. That is the qualified master, teacher of the Bodhisattva Yanas. Really simplified, simple, short. So that is. And also qualified student. And the teaching is one who keep the teaching exactly as it is. That is qualified teachers. Exactly as it is with that. So therefore, this teaching in the Nyingma Karma that is how preserved the Karma teachings continue. Terma teaching has three Terma teachings. Terma means hidden, discovered. And that is, Terma is then, that many of you know Terma. No? And then there is second teaching is mind terma, and then pure vision. So 3 different. Terma is a terma, and that mainly indicating terma that is hidden by the Guru Padma Samye Ling Soja on the rocky mountain, in the lake, on the tree, on the earth, through their magical powers, Western power hidden, and then connected those beings, rediscover those teachings or those treasures, as they kind of named terma, popularly. Then, mind terma, guntara, in Tibet, guntara. What that means, mind terma? That means the Guru Padma Samye hidden that terma teaching to the mind streams of those individuals. What that means, mind system. Guru Padma Samye did not heed the terma teaching to the duality mind systems. But Guru Padma Samye heeded to the original absolute mind. All this like Dershek Nyungpo, Tathangata Garba state of the individuals. That is terma. It's not conceptual level. Why conceptual level? Because conception changes. That is unstable. It diluted. But once you hidden this, for example, his whole Dudjom Lingpa discovered this Vajra teaching. He teaching. What in the vision in teaching said that he was in a tiger nest in Bhutan. That in his practice in the dream, young lady came. In the mind appears is Lichim Soja. She pulled him from the hand. Did you remember that you received the entirely teaching teachings on the Guru and teachings on the Dzongchen and Vajra teaching in reside and hidden in your Western mind. Did you remember? She pulled up and handed over. Purpose, that's it. So that is that. Remember, it's not that his own Dudjom Lingpa discovered that from the external duality mind. I'm sure he don't have the duality, but it's hidden to his absolute state of Tathagarbha state. That's what his own Dudjom Lingpa discovered. It's an indestructible state is discovered. So that is known as mind terma. That is, and Dudjom Lingpa also discovered, and many of Nyingmi Lingpa's teachings are also known as Guntara. So it's not duality state discovered. And the Tang in the Tibet, Tang and I translated into English, I'm translating as a pure perception or pure appearance. Pure appearance is also really good, pure appearance. Pure appearance. So this pure appearance, what that means? It's not just those have highest realization. Those have the realization, their appearance becomes the pure. It's not just occasionally pure perception comes and then kind of goes away and come back to as we see things. It is, they really seeing the way things are. What that means, way things are? All is enlightened status. All enlightened. Original nature is enlightened. As we see it. That's what we visualize. Everything is enlightened status. Even though it's visualized, it's a kind of, in a way, imagination way, but that is lined up the way things are. That's why visualization will work. Then it brings the reality goal where we think are. So this Dudjom Lingpa's Taneng is not just occasionally comes and then goes away. His realization, those who are seeing everything purely status. This is standard Buddhism teaching, Buddha's teaching. When you reach higher realization, bhumis, one after another, your purity external is changes. As we think change inwardly, improving, purify the obscurations, and things external also change. As like our jaundices. When we have the jaundice problems, we don't see things exactly where we should see. But when the jaundice is clearing away, and things will become clay and clay and clay. This is not just occasionally arising. Clay and clay. Present time, we have the jaundice of the dualities that blocking our reality view or nature views. But Dudjom Lingpa, his view is pure, that's it. But then what happened is, when Buddha see everything so clearly and beautiful, perfectly, exactly where things are. So then Buddha is always in pure vision? No. Buddha see where things are as his way, and Buddha see where things we see. That's why Buddha gives the teachings and the guide, support to us. That's called beauty and the power of the enlightenment qualities. So this is the come from that teaching, and that's my brief talk of the for today. And thank you very much, everyone, again for participating. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you. We do again 2-minute meditation, and then we do short dedication. I don't know, you have this, we're going to chant this prayer, the supplication prayer for the swift return of the Chabji Dudjom Sangye Pema Jeba Rinpoche. We're going to chant. If you don't have, then we'll make sure that you will get this copy. So we will chant that too. Okay, thank you.